Hi guys, let's look at Domantas Sabonis in today's player spotlight. Sabonis, of course, drafted by the Orlando Magic, traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder in the Serge Ibaka deal, along with Victor Oladipo, and then went with Victor Oladipo from the Oklahoma City Thunder to the Indiana Pacers as part of the Paul George deal. His production in Indiana is significantly different to what we've seen from him, or what we saw from him in that first season in Oklahoma City. He started in OKC as a power forward and didn't really do much. 20 minutes a game, 6 points, 4 rebounds, shot poorly, 39% from the field, 32% from three. Didn't really flash anything as an elite type player. I'm not even saying he's elite necessarily at the moment, but moving to Indiana, he was played at his more natural position of center, and he started to really explode last season, putting up some strong numbers, and it's gotten even better this year. So let's start off just by having a quick look at what he's actually averaging so far this season. He has played 11 games and only 24 minutes per game, but averaging 14 and 9 with 2.6 assists, half a steal and 0.6 blocks, and shooting an insane 66% from the field and 82% from the line, including 50% from three. Now, the 50% from three is one of two, so he's just not taking any threes. Contrast that to his first season in Oklahoma City, where he took 159 three-pointers. He just isn't taking those threes anymore. There's a real significant room for regression here from Sabonis because he is hitting his two-pointers at 66%. A number which is unlikely to stick at that sort of a level. Not many players go around shooting at that high of a level from two-point range. He's at 68% at the rim, which is not a terribly high number. I think he can actually, maybe he could maintain that sort of a level. Sorry, not 68%, he's at 75% of the rim. Maybe he can continue that, but he's shooting 46% on his mid-ranges, which are accounting for 30% of his shot attempts. So there is an element there of regression, I think, coming for Sabonis. He's also on his not shots at the rim, his shots outside of 4 feet, so around that free throw line zone. He is hitting those at 57%, and they account for 22% of his shot attempts. So while the shots at the rim they high, they may be able to stick at that 75% level. It's those mid-range shots which I think we potentially have a concern that there is going to be an element of regression there. Per 36 this season as opposed to last season, he's actually upped his rebound rate, which is impressive, up to 13 per 36 minutes. His assist rate is up as well, and his block rate is had a 50% increase from 0.6 per 36 up to 0.9. Now, it's not really making any waves, that sort of a block number, but it is showing a steady improvement, but the steal number has regressed. But his value is realistically, it's coming from a couple of things. It's coming from the rebounding, and it's coming from field goal percentage. In terms of overall standard league value, he's a positive contributor in rebounders, he's a massive positive contributor in field goals, and he is a minor positive contributor in free throw percentage, 82% on 3.5 per game. Gives you a standard score of 0.4. For contrast, his field goal percentage gives you a standard score of 2.07. So far and away, double the impact that category has versus any other category that he's contributing in, and that's why I just have that worry that there is going to be a level of regression coming for Sabonis this season. But in terms of on-court play, he looks fantastic. He looks to be significantly better than the Pacers starting center, Miles Turner, just by watching it. And also the numbers there bear this out as well. According to Cleaning the Glass, Miles Turner has been on the court for 952 possessions without Domantas Sabonis, and the team has a net rating of plus 4.1, which is okay. It's a positive, obviously. With Sabonis on the court and Turner on the bench, which is 761 possessions, so 190 possessions fewer, but 761 possessions, he is a plus, or the team is a plus 10.8. So 10.8 versus 4.1. That is a significant difference. And yeah, a lot of Sabonis' minutes are coming with bench players. So he's not having the benefit of playing alongside Victor Oladipo or the spacing of Bojan Bogdanovic. He is getting the benefit of Tyreke Evans and Darren Collison, guys who are perhaps superior. So Tyreke Evans and Corey Joseph, maybe those guys are superior to Darren Collison. But he is doing a huge amount of work, and he has upped so many of his numbers this season. A PER of 27 this year for his PER. His win shares are through the roof. His box score plus minus offensively is 4.5. Defensively, it's 2.2. Just a ton of really, really strong numbers. His PIPM is at 1.45, which is a really, really big number as well. Doing stuff Again, really fueled by this high field goal percentage that he is getting, and also getting to the line a significant amount of 42% free throw rate is quite significant as a free throw percentage. Not something that we necessarily is going to think is going to stick. 34% free throw rate last year, 14% in his rookie year. Free throw rate does increase as you get older, but 42 is getting up there as a pretty high and pretty significant rate. He is right up there in that area, in the elite area in terms of getting fouled. In fact, according to Clean the Glass, he's getting fouled on. He's in the 94th percentile of drawing foul attempts for his position. So that's putting him right up there in that elite type area. As I said, I do think there is going to be some regression for his numbers, but to offset that, I think we're going to see an increase in playing time for Sabonis. He's averaged 28 minutes over the last 4 games, and he's had double-digit scoring in 3 of those, 12 and 9, 17 and 8, and 16 and 11, and probably more impressively in those games, 13 combined assists. Now, only 1 block and 0 steals. That's what's always going to limit his overall upside. But there were 2 limiting factors for his upside, I thought. 1 was the minutes and Miles Turner, and 2 was the defensive stats. I don't think the minutes are going to be too much of a problem because he's outplaying Turner. And the second thing is they are playing together more regularly, and it's actually working. For the season, it's only 204 possessions, but the team is a plus 5.8 when Sabonis and Turner share the court. Turner playing that power forward role more on offense and the center role more on defense. But offensively, Domantas is really, really starting to dominate. But if we have a look at what his numbers are, where can he get better? That's the question, I guess, when we want to have a look at this for dynasty value. Or is this your best case scenario for Sabonis on a per minute basis? Because he could push it out to 30 minutes and he could average 18 points and 11 rebounds with 3.5 assists. Look, he could do that, and that pushes him to be a top 30 sort of top 40 type of player. But otherwise, is there anywhere that's lagging? Will he take more threes? I'm not sure that he will, because he's not actually all that good at them. The free throw percentage is fine. He's gone up from 66% to 75%, now up to 82%, so consistent improvement there. Will that stick? I don't know. And then you've got the free throw rate. But it's that field goal percentage, as I mentioned, that does worry me. Does he have scope to improve in steals and blocks? I don't ever see that happening for Sabonis. Could he ever average 4 assists per game? Yeah, I could see him doing that. So where does he top out as a dynasty player? I think he can have a top 50 season if he pushes into a 30-minute role. And the way that he is progressing and the way that things are trending, I think in the next couple of seasons, we could see Sabonis getting a 30-minute role per night. Will he ever push to be a top 20 player, top 25 player? That's where I have my doubts. You're talking about a guy who would have to become a player like, say, Dirk Nowitzki with his lack of defensive stats, although Sabonis is not going to be adding the threes that Dirk added, obviously more rebounds to push up to that level. And I'm just not sure he's going to be able to get to that area. Peak upside is probably, as I said, 18, 11, and 4. On 57 and 82%. I think they're realistic percentage estimates. Just what we're seeing now, it's not completely extrapolatable. I don't think that's the real word. Because of this extraordinarily high 2-point percentage on those mid-range shots, which is due to come down. But he's learning to play. He is getting better and better every single game that he is out there. And that is always an impressive thing to note. And the other good thing is that the defense has really picked up for Sabonis this season as well. That box score plus minus shows that as a 2.2 is a strong number. His DPIPM, defensive player impact plus minus, according to Jacob Goldstein, is 0.74, higher than his offensive impact. And that is massive for him. Never going to be accumulating those big steals or big block numbers, but staying on the court. If you can be a good defender, you stay on the court, and then the points come, and then the assists come, and then the rebounds come, and that's really helping what he's been able to do this season. So it's been a huge start to the year for Sabonis. I do think that there is room for it to get worse and room for it to get better, as contradictory as that might sound. More minutes, lower field goal percentage, but is there a chance that he takes the starting job off Turner? I would put that pretty low. Is there a chance that he plays more minutes per game over the course of the season than Turner? I think that's a legitimate possibility. I could see them both at around the 27 or 28 minute per game mark. And I think we will see a Sabonis as a starting center situation arise in the next couple of seasons. He will be a restricted free agent, not next off season. Next year will be his 4th season, so he'll be playing into restricted free agent next season, and then we'll see if the big offers come in and the big contract comes in and what they do with him. So I think we're looking at more a 2020, 2021 scenario of 30 to 31 minutes a night for Sabonis, which would push him into that peak 18, 19 points, 11 rebounds, 11 or 12 rebounds, 4 assists, a steal, a block on good percentages, which is a pretty comfortable top 50 and probably a top 30 sort of a player. So really outplaying expectations, significant strides. The growth curve from him has been unbelievably good, and that's always a positive. But you just do have to level that little bit of caution there that some of those shooting numbers, there's a real possibility that they don't stick at this level, and then that causes some of his other numbers to drop. Does it cause an impact in his defensive efforts if the shots don't go in? And not that he's taking wild, crazy shots, because he gets to the rim pretty easy, but it's those mid-range ones, which are outside of 4 feet, is accounting for over 50% of his shot attempts, and they're going in at a significantly above average level. In fact, it's 59% of his shots are coming in the mid-range area. So that's that is something that is worth paying attention to. That he is right in that. Actually, now that I'm looking at this, I'm not sure that that's no. Sorry, let's rephrase that. 30% of his shots are coming in the mid-range area, and he's hitting them at 46%. So if that drops down, and he was a 37 and 35% guy over the first 2 seasons, if that goes back to, and league average, we're talking about 40, 41%. So if that drops back down, then his overall numbers drop, and then that percentage shooting at the rim has a risk of regressing. Who has had a really interesting linear progression: 55% at the rim as a rookie, 65% last year, 75% this year. So they're things to bear in mind, but it could be offset by an increase in minutes for Domantas Sabonis.